Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all across the fruited plain, my name is Brandon Davis, an artist formerly known as Rags Riches, and you're here right now because you have nothing else better to do. I'm feeling very festive. I got to eat food for the first time in 72 hours, approximately 2 hours, 17 minutes ago, and 32 seconds ago. So that was very nice. I'm feeling markedly improved. Let's just put it that way. We are here right now because we are going to go over new protocol that's launching on TitanX. And we've got some familiar faces here, some folks we might not have met before, but I'm excited to get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, now bringing to stage Ali and Irish Crypto. Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us on the show again. How did the fast go? Well, you've maybe introduced Irish crypto, and then I would like to ask a couple of questions about that, if you don't mind.
Well, yeah, so Irish Crypto, man, tell us who you are, man. Who the heck are you?
Who is Irish Crypto? So, yeah, this is my second cycle in crypto. In real life, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a couple of businesses. I recently escaped the matrix and moved my family to Portugal to live life on my terms. So, the reason I love crypto is the opportunity to become self-sovereign. I was one of the original members of Jake's mastermind, as we were just talking about in the green room. Brandon, been a big fan of yours for a while.
I'm
Been in
sorry.
Hex the last cycle. Into Pulse Chain, into PulseX, like Pulse Chain, like Pulse Chain assets. Still hold them all. Haven't sold a thing, but I've been in Titan X ever since the start. So I play more in Titan X. I'm not one of the more prevalent streamers, only because it hasn't been my preference previously.
Yeah.
But I have been an active builder within Titan X, one of the original Blaze team, where co-founded Blaze, co-founded Flux, co-founded Inferno, and now stepped up really to bring GoatX into real life as MemeFi is something I really believe in, which we'll be talking about soon. So
Oh,
thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks for hopping on here. Ali, who the heck are you?
Who the hell am I? Yeah, just same as Irish crypto. Got into Pulse Chain last cycle, end of last cycle. Bad time to get in. Yeah, found Richard Hart, who I support very strongly to this day. Yeah, found Hacks, Pulse Chain, all that kind of stuff. Just like Irish was in Jake's mastermind. I've been building projects for about a year and a half now. I launched my first project on Pulse Chain, Pulse Wars. It's an NFT fantasy league game that's currently live on Pulse Chain. We have about 1,000 players playing the game, and then once Titan X launched, with all the things going on over there, I teamed up with a few guys from GX Mastermind and started building. And it's just been an absolute whirlwind since we decided to do that. We've started our own little development agency called Accelerate, and we're currently building 4 different projects at the minute on Titan X. And we're obviously helping Irish Crypto bring GoatX to the market. So yeah, just a lover of Pulse Chain, Titan X, and all things crypto.
Great. Awesome. Thank you guys for those intros. How did my fast go? Was the question you'd asked previously. At first, it was okay, Ali. First day was kind of weird. Second day was great. Third day was good. My senses were heightened. My want and need for food had increased as well. I mean, I could hear a fly fart on the wall, dude. It was weird. I was just locked in. And then I crashed last night. I don't know, about 6 p.m. And then I was just feeling rough. But we made it through. We were able to raise thousands of dollars for some folks in need, so it worked out. Everything was good there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
just
cool.
because like I've obviously for me since I got into crypto, my not that my health is bad, but I used to look after myself quite extensively. Would have trained a hell of a lot, at pretty healthy. But between full time job, full time crypto, a 1 year old baby, the gym and dad are the things that have gone. And I see a lot of people do these fasts, and I'm interested in just trying to maybe see just try one, just to see if I can reset the system and give me kick up the ass that I need to just really kickstart looking after myself and health again.
Yeah, I think start with 24 hours. Well, start with 12 hours and then go to a 24 hour. Have plenty of salts. So electrolyte, non-sugary drinks though. And then ibuprofen because your head will probably really hurt. And then just kind of work up to it, man. And just embrace the suck because it sucks. And go from there.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. It was inspired seeing you do the 3-day one. The fact you've done it again, you did it last year for charity as well. So yeah, fair play to you, man. I haven't donated yet, but I definitely will donate after the stream tonight.
So
all good.
3 days, is it, Brandon?
Yeah, 70. Yeah, so and
Cool.
this way that I did was nice because I started at noon on Friday, so I only had to stay awake for 12 hours before I got to go to sleep. So that wasn't too hard. And then you wake up and you time travel for 8 hours, and then you know it's not too bad. So and then you wake up the last day and only have to go without food for a handful of hours. So I like starting at noon. But yeah, so let's get into this, gentlemen. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to ask this question. Ali, Irish Crypto, how much did you pay me for this stream? And I know my rates are high, but how much did you guys pay me for this? The discount?
Absolutely nothing.
$0.
$0.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Zero, zilch, nada.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
Not a goating farthing.
Not a fart and a goat. You didn't even pay me that, dear Lord. I think it's interesting. The South from the United States meets you guys from the UK. It's kind of interesting here. But anyway, here we go. Let's get into this once and for all. What is GoatX, and why did you guys decide to bring this to market here?
Okay, no problems. So look, as I talked about in my introduction, one of the things that I realized when we co-founded Inferno was the potential power of MemeFi, which I think is something that's really coming out as a sub-industry within TitanX. So we've all heard of mishmashes of different sub-industries coming together, like GameFi and other things, DeFi, etc. What I want to be doing in this in this crypto industry really is leading MemeFi. So I think GoatX and Inferno are both proud to really champion what I call this emerging MemeFi standard. And I think it represents a shift in how we perceive and interact with meme-inspired cryptocurrencies. So we know that meme coins aren't going anywhere. They're a huge industry within crypto. They're very accessible. The young people love them, but they're kind of more speculative assets. And, the kind of assets that are prone to potential, rugs and VC manipulations and all those kind of things that we hate. That's why I'm enjoying being in the TitanX, because I know that stands for something different. And also when you merge these kind of speculative assets with DeFi, with real utility, you can create a long-term value proposition that will hopefully appeal to the masses, but also a bit more of the serious investor. So I think what we experienced with Inferno when we launched it in TitanX back in July was the power of this, what could happen with MemeFi. And of course, we had AlienX came after it. Of course, your very own Morpheus, it's done very well, AwesomeX and others. So I think what we're seeing, as I said, is this kind of birth of a new sub-industry within an industry. And that's where I want to spend most of my time. I'm a pretty sort of drama-free kind of bloke. I don't get involved in crypto spats and, behind the scenes really. And
so much fun, man. You're missing out.
No, it's just such a waste of time. I'm a little bit older, been there, done that. But memes, oh man, when Inferno was rocking and it was launched, Ali, I mean, we had the time of our life, didn't we? The internet culture that we created with Inferno the Bull, we gave it this vision to be the mascot within TitanX for the bull run. I think the 92% or the 90%, sorry, buy and burn tokenomics was a world's first. And of course, it's the OG of the MemeFi and GoatX was originally sparked of, look, I want to do something to evolve the Inferno story and potentially raise it to new levels and create a meme-fi coin in its own right. And that's kind of where sort of the GoatX originally came from. So, I'm a serious investor in TitanX and Pulse Chain, as I talked about. I do believe that TitanX has an opportunity to become the greatest of all time. If you look at the principles that are involved in it, if you look at the serious amount of building that's going on with it, we're only just over a year old. It has the potential to be a multi-cycle coin ecosystem. So the GoatX vision kind of had a duality to it, which was to help bring new eyes and adoption into TitanX, as well as being a GOAT in its own right as a meme coin, as a meme-fi coin. So, the last thing I'll say on that before, if Ali wants to add anything, the verse talks about this. We're in a meme coin market. The younger generation gets it. My kids were loving helping me design the logo. And, you saw the bag of merch, Ali, when you came over to Lisbon. It didn't last very long. All, like, my son's mates were grabbing it. And, I think just has so much potential because humans like visuals. They can access memes and brands. And, I think GoatX has a role to play in helping, bring in new faces into and new users into TitanX, which is needed. Ali, did you want anything to that at all? Or
Yeah, I just think obviously when we're all TitanX is really building out an ecosystem that's bringing, anybody that's into crypto can kind of come along to the TitanX ecosystem, just like they can over in Pulse Chain as well. But they can come to the TitanX ecosystem and pretty much, whenever we get, a few more of the protocols that are coming, they'll be able to do pretty much everything that you want to do in DeFi and crypto, memes, borrowing and lending. We've got it all going on, so. You can just see from my background, the amount of meme coins just that are launching within the TitanX ecosystem, and like everything, all the projects that are launching, they're taking what's gone before. So you've taken a lot of the best parts of many things that have happened within especially not just TitanX but the Inferno Kingdom within TitanX, and just started to add a little bit more to each of the different projects that have launched already. And GoatX has got some really tasty features in its own right that are different from everything else that's been done. Inferno took TitanX ecosystem by storm. There's been many people, Morpheus included, that have kind of used some of those smart contracts in the style of, that style of mint, the mint cycles, and it was really, really successful. So again, GoatX has just got some really new additions to what went before.
Great. Perfect. Let's get into some of those new additions. Pulling up the white paper here. GoatX is a hyper-deflationary meme token designed to maximize value for holders through aggressive buy and burn mechanics and structured holder classification system. Key features include 92% TitanX used for buy and burn in the feed mechanism, burning built on TitanX protocols and liquidity, 5-tier holder classification system with benefits, full token distribution within 14 days, and a perpetual auction. So first and foremost, let's kind of talk about the minting process. What does this look like?
So pleased to say that we've got a launch date now, which is out now on X and Telegram. So the 28th of December, 2 p.m. UTC, which is a Saturday. I think we were looking to launch it a little bit earlier, but Shogun came out, so we decided just to park it and improve the UI and just continue to work and build the marketing. So with the 14-day minting cycles, primarily, I know there's been a lot that have been doing 28 and some doing more. We just wanted 14 days because we want to get it out quickly. So we know what the full total supply is going to be within 14 days, so then it can be capped and then go into sort of hyper deflationary mode. I suppose there's two interesting parts to this. I think the first one is we wanted to do a slower decrease from the first minting cycle to the last minting cycle. So it's only a 2% decrease. So we start off in cycle one with one TitanX in, we'll get you one GoatX out. And obviously on cycle 14, that decreases to 0.74 GoatX for every one TitanX. But I think the most interesting part, and we spent a lot of time looking at what some of the recent launches have done, what some of the recent launches are doing. And what we found was, some of them start very well. And then I suppose interest starts to peter out, for whatever reason that might be. And we just thought, should we just put a daily cap, something that's fair, something that actually, is very, very achievable, and something that could build in programmatic FOMO pressure alongside some of the other aspects of the tokenomics and game theory, i.e. the social tiering system that we will talk about, the Golden Goat NFT, the fact that this is the start of a meme-fi story that GoatX will be leading. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. It could be that it mints out very quickly, or it could be that it doesn't, and we don't know. But we just felt like putting in a daily cap. It's the first time it's been done within TitanX. Think it's the first time it's been done elsewhere. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out, Brandon.
Okay, so you've got 14 cycles, 14 days. Start date would be 2 p.m. End date would be 2 p.m. The next day, mint window is every day at 2 p.m. to claim the previous day.
Correct.
And it looks like this is decreasing by, what are we looking about, like 2% per day?
That's it.
Approximately. And then you've got the daily TitanX cap, which is only 288 billion can be minted per mint cycle. So, and that's kind of the first time that's been done there. So, so what do you guys expect? You think people are going to FOMO into this? You're getting less TitanX or less GOAT per TitanX as time goes on, and there's still the same amount of cap there. So yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think the idea behind the cap. Okay, so we've had a lot of different launch designs in TitanX already, and this one hasn't. This cap design hasn't been done yet. Even when you cap the amount of tokens that for people that maybe people are participating in auctions, you still don't know what you're going to get, and you can still have as many people come in with as many dollars as happens as the market decides. But with this cap, we're hoping that it actually generates some FOMO, and it really does put a real tight cap on the supply. You can see, you experienced at the launch of Morpheus, where you maybe got in close to 1 trillion TitanX on day one. So for projects launching within TitanX, it's not difficult to bring in, a few hundred to, 1 trillion TitanX. Now, yes, it's a little bit quieter out there at the minute, but the fact is that, the day one, a rate of one TitanX gets you one GoatX, that only 288 billion TitanX or GoatX can be minted each day. That's not a lot of dollar value to mint out quickly. And the idea behind that is just to try and program in that FOMO. We've seen in Inferno people come in and mint up to 50 billion Inferno tokens in one hit. And I would say even in Morpheus, you probably got a few big hitters coming in, and a few big hitters coming in and minting a big chunk on various days. But for 288 to sell out, we think and hope that it's very achievable, and that it really does create an actual extra level of scarcity rather than just having a capped supply and it's starting to burn. This really is and we hope really is a capped supply that is capped quite low, and that they can mint out pretty quick.
Yeah. The only thing I'd add to that is, again, potential predicated on how it starts, Brandon. Like if we get 3 or 4 mint outs really quickly, that's going to send out a certain energy into X and Telegrams, and people start chatting, and it's like, whoa, turn its heads. Then we start to get some other people that aren't, too interested in this at the moment, will then start to take a look at it. We saw that with Inferno. Inferno was different to this, but it had similar reasoning, which was people really got behind the memes. They really got behind some of the crack that was going on, the fun that was going on online. And then actually what we saw was people went in a lot heavier towards the end, even though the amount of Inferno they got was a lot less because of the groundswell of FOMO and action and activity and attention that created online, which is what we're hoping this will be. We thought about increasing the daily cap. It was larger at one point, but at the same time, if we do mint out all 14 or get close to it, there's a decent amount of economic energy in there to give this a lot of longevity. to then go alongside, our aspirations to what we're going to do with the goat meme.
Awesome. Yeah. So what is that? So you've got 288 billion. That's roughly 170,000 USD, somewhere in that range per day that can go into this thing. Interesting.
That's at the current value, yeah. And when you look back, whenever you probably brought in close to $1 million day one, and we experienced $1 million in various protocols that we've launched. That whenever Titan-X was around, when a trillion or a billion Titan-X was around $1,000, that trillion mark was where everybody was aiming for. Obviously, we've had a little bit of a pullback, and I just think that figure is not a lot for, and hopefully, people get their hands on these tokens, 288 billion a day. You get your hands on these tokens, they should be pretty scarce. Because we know a lot of people in Titan-X like to buy and hold this stuff. You can get quite a lot of good diamond-handed holders. I know in Inferno we've got a lot of people who have a big chunks of supply that never sell. And we're hoping that this kind of thing can really happen in GoatX.
Awesome. Love it. All right. Well, I was kind of curious about your logic and your reasoning behind this, and that makes sense. Let's go to supply and allocations. So the maximum theoretical supply of GoatX is 6.424, which is calculated as the sum of all mint cycles at maximum Titan-X. So it maxes out every day. We're at 6.424 trill. Okay. So at launch, the contract will mint the following GoatX tokens. 1.816 trillion is minted to the GOAT feed. This is to support perpetual auctions. 288 billion GoatX for full range LP in the Titan-X V3 pair. All right, so this is going to be, all right, so you collect, it's going to mint at launch, and then when you guys have enough, 288 billion GoatX is going to be paired with 288 billion Titan-X for LP? Or what's your LP look like? And if you don't want to tell me, that's fine too.
Yeah, no, the first $5,000 of Titan-X that comes in, and there'll be $5,000 of Titan-X paired with that. The first 5,000. There will be an additional $10,000 worth of Titan-X added to the LP as well, but that will be a delayed thing just to kind of stop the sniper bots.
Sure. Okay.
The main pair will be GOAT Titan-X, not GOAT Inferno. It will be GOAT Titan-X. The main thing that they get from that point is yes, whenever we get, there will be 288 billion GOAT X minted for the liquidity pool. That's separate from the 288 billion each day.
Right.
The one point, I can't remember the figure, the 1 trillion is minted for the perpetual auctions. It's extra. There's not enough longevity in the perpetual auctions if we don't mint extra tokens. So there will be an extra trillion minted that will be there for the perpetual auctions after the 14-day mint phase.
Okay. Okay, so token distribution, initial Titan-X split per mint cycle, 46% GoatX buys and burns, and the buy and burn and the pool, and also the burn and the auctions. 30% auction GOAT feed. We'll go to that next here. 8%, half of that is sent to the Titan-X Flux pool and burn. Other half is sent to the Phoenix protocol. Awesome. To be max stake forever and further support the Inferno Kingdom. 8% to Inferno Buy and Burn 2.0 and 8% to Genesis. Okay, so let's talk about the perpetual auctions. Once the minting period ends, GoatX becomes capped and deflationary. The perpetual auctions begin. What are perpetual auctions?
So take that, Ellie.
Yeah, certainly. So obviously each day, 14 days, there's 288 billion Titan-X tokens up for grabs. After that, there will be daily auctions where people will be able to bid for their share of what's in the auction pool that day. So of the total Titan-X that comes in, 30% of it will be buying GoatX to store. We'll be buying GoatX off the market to store in what we call the GOAT feed. So everything that comes in Titan-X each day, 30% will buy GOAT and store it in the GOAT feed. and that will be kept there for these perpetual auctions that will start after day 14.
Interesting. So, okay, so you'll be using, so you essentially get to double. One token is getting purchased 2 times potentially, so that makes things pretty, I guess, pretty good for the contract there.
Yeah,
The Titan
it will lock a lot of Goat X up off the market.
Yeah,
Okay,
as
so
well.
as well as so there will be the 30% buying of 30% will be buying that Goat X each day and adding it to that pool. Obviously, the pool will start with 1 trillion in it. Each day for the perpetual auctions, whatever the balance is in that goat feed, 8% will be used for the auction. So there will not be it won't be a high amount of goat X in the feed each day, and that will obviously decrease a little over time.
Okay, perfect. Talk to me about the tier classification system. So this features a tier system that incentivizes holders by categorizing them into 5 levels based on token holdings. What's this all about?
No worries. Okay, so look, I think one of the most intriguing aspects of this is this social tiering system. I've a lot of the business I've built over the years have always had a strong community, and I've always done quite well bringing in sort of social tiering into those kind of models. So I wanted to bring that into crypto. I also took inspiration from. So if you think about the thinking behind it, I also took inspiration from NFTs in the last cycle. So when a new set would launch, sometimes the founders would build in token amount of held would give you extra status in discords or extra rights to future input into the project, etc. As well as whale rankings that we're all very used to. So that sort of shrimp to Poseidon sort of rankings. And the other thing I'll add is this.
What do you Poseidon?
Poseidon, is that right? Did I spell that wrong? Anyway, Poseidon.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
There we go. And then also the two things. The 1% Supply Club we use from Inferno, which is a crypto investing ethos I have. I know Marco the Excan talks about it as well. I've always done pretty well when I've gone into early protocols and tried to get maybe 1/10 of the supply or a quarter of the supply, or 0.10%, a quarter of a percent, 0.5%, or 0.75 or a 1%. So we brought a bit of that into Inferno. So with GoatX, what I translate this into is this sort of structured social tiering system in and around the meme of GoatX, in and around the story and narrative around the GoatX tribe. Personally, I don't watch loads of TV, but when I do, it's mafia movies, mafia sets.
You and me both.
And I mean, like I've watched all sorts of, gang movies to try and get my fix. So I just enjoy that. So the GoatX tribe is, think sort of Sopranos and Sons of Anarchy. When you see some of the graphics throughout the tiering systems, you'll get it. And so, top of the tree is the Goat Father. So that's a kind of whale plus, if you can get 1.5% of total supply. The second tiering is the GoatX, which is sort of a whale status, which is 1% of supply plus. The Apex Goat is the third tier, which is 0.5%, just under 1%. And then the fourth tier is Goatee, which is a quarter of 1% to just under half of 1%. And then the base Goat, which is your kind of entry level into the tribe, entry level into the social tiering system. So look, each position means something. There's a certain bit of gamification here. It could be that a couple of whales come in early. We don't know. It could be that a couple of whales come in later. We don't know. People have got options to DCA in over the 14 days. But that's the sort of rules of the game, if you like, for the social tiering system. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with this. 92% sort of burn and feed mechanics, 14-day minting cycle. We're all hoping that we're launching at a good time. Timing analysis would say that we're not too far off from launching from a good time. I think Inferno launched almost just before the large sort of run that it did for sort of 10, 12, 14, 16 weeks. So we're hoping we've got the timing right there as well. And I think potentially with these burn and feed mechanics, these positions could be nearly impossible to replicate after mint. So again, hopefully with that, the cap supply, it's going to encourage some FOMO pressure into who comes in. Also on the DApp, what we've designed is everyone can see exactly where they are. We have a leaderboard. Once you've secured a tier, you can share the stats via the DApp. We've designed a PFP that people can use as their profile picture on X if they wish. There's a clear path to climb. And we've also incorporated a Golden Goat NFT, which will be awarded to the top 4 classification tiers, Goatee up to the Goat Father. It's a no expectations Golden Goat NFT, but I want people to see it as a golden ticket into MemeFi. There will be loyalty pays. We are looking at potentially rewards. We're looking at other bits and pieces. We're definitely going to be developing into this MemeFi story. As I said at the start, it's something I believe in. I think it's a huge industry in the making, and I think it's also bringing the fun back into crypto. Right, life is hard enough as it is, and there's an emotional tie with investing money into crypto, and I think with the power of what memes can do from a viral perspective and the extra utility with DeFi and the fact that this is a long-term play, I'm hoping we're going to get some really early support, which gets us off to the races, and then we can continue to develop it.
Just on that as well. Sorry, Brandon. So in those initial mintings, there's an extra 288 billion GOAT-X that will be minted for what could potentially be rewards to these longer term loyal holders that stay that hold their tokens and stay in the system. Again, we're trying to encourage people to get supply, take this limited supply, and not give up their status once they've got it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a snapshot within 88 days after mint. So again, not financial advice, no expectations, but the design principle is that people in the tribe will be at the forefront of everything that we're doing going forward.
Perfect. Okay. So we went over supply allocations, token buy and burn feed. So we're going to have value cap and time intervals enabled. Good. MEV protection, multi-dex routing, and price impact controls. Good. Buy and burn breakdown, 46% goes to the buy and burn pool. As per the mechanic above, of the total Titan-X in the protocol, the following amounts are used for liquidity bonding. So 8% is sent to an LP wallet, 38% is used in the buy and burn contract.
Okay, I can run through this bit pretty quick. We've tried to keep, obviously, we've tried to keep the buy and burn pretty high. There is a straight 38% buy and burn on the token, which we've seen buy and burns in action. 38% we think is quite a lot. We obviously with Inferno we went for a 92% buy and burn. We had issues with the MEV back then, but even seeing what that smaller even seeing what that buy and burn was able to do for the token, we've tried to keep it reasonably high, and we think 38 is a nice share of 38% of everything that comes in is going to buy and burn the GOAT token. 8%, okay, so 8% will be buying GOAT-X off the market as well, and keeping that GOAT-X for additional liquidity pools. Everybody knows the importance of these different liquidity webs. We've seen how Volt did it with just adding to its liquidity all the time. So we have 8% of the Titan-X will be buying GOAT-X and storing it up in an LP wallet as well. The 38% is, as I say, is a huge amount to buy and burn every single day. And then the 30% as well, buying GOAT-X and storing it in the GOAT feed is a hell. Between those three, there's a hell of a lot of buy pressure on GOAT-X.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I see that. So all that's self-explanatory here. 8% goes to LP wallet. 38% is also going to be used for buy pressure. It's going to buy and burn directly. So 38% of the buy and burn allocation is used to buy and burn. Perfect. Makes sense. The remaining 30% of the total amount is allocated to perpetual auctions, goat feed. Good, good, and good. Liquidity pools. So your input's going to be Titan X. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so really small starting liquidity pool. It's a meme coin at the end of the day. That really small liquidity pool hopefully will hopefully not financial advice, but can help with price appreciation at the start, and before we start to add that little bit more after the bots have disappeared.
Okay, makes sense. Perfect. We got disclaimers here. Okay, makes sense. Conclusion, MemeFi. Yeah, we kind of went over that. Okay, good, guys. So we're sitting about 35 minutes, which is really, really good right now. You guys are planning on launching what day did you say?
This Saturday.
The Saturday.
28th of December. Obviously, a lot of the action that's happening at the moment is happening via my X page, Irish Crypto 4, at Irish Crypto 4, and our GoatX X page at GoatX MemeFi. One of the key things that I believe is to really go large on memes. So even though it is a MemeFi coin, and we've heard about that and how that brings the best of both worlds, I've always had a premise as an entrepreneur that attention's the new product. And with all of my other businesses that have been successful, you market for the long term, and marketing it's a hustle. It's a daily grind. It is constant. And I've been really going large on the memes, as you can see there, which has been real good fun. And they're starting to turn heads. I'm starting to get direct messages from people in the industry. I'm starting to get approaches. We're starting to see people from other ecosystems comment and follow. So, the vision really is we're just going to out-meme anyone in crypto and turn this attention into Titan X, turn this attention into the MemeFi industry, have some fun with it. I just think the word GOAT and the GOAT X is one of the most memeable things around. So we're going to have a lot of fun with it and see how we go.
See how we goat?
See how we go.
Yeah, you see, you can't help yourself. You just can't.
Gosh, man, I slipped up. Damn it! Gosh, you're right.
See how you go. I mean, even at home, my wife's like, went out for dinner last night. I said, "Let's go," and she just looked at me and went, "You can stop this shit now."
You absolute fool.
I feel bad for your wife, dude. Yeah, you're right. Gosh. Well, gentlemen, all right. So you guys have the last word here. Ali, what do you want to kind of get out here to the crowd?
Okay, yeah, I just want to say that obviously there's been a lot of different iterations on what Inferno did, and I think with all the scarcity elements, all the things that we've got built into this protocol that takes GoatX off the market, I hope leads to a really spicy launch here. In the first day, we went out 288 billion tokens, and I just hope that from there we can continue on that road. Pat's gone really, really hard in the memes. Part of the reason that Inferno did so well is because we memed it so hard for 8 weeks of minting, and I think he's come up with a really beautiful recipe with the GOAT and the tier system, the GOAT father, all that stuff. So yeah, just really hoping for a successful launch here. We get a successful day one. It really is game on for this token.
Love it. And Irish Crypto, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, just to build on that, really appreciate you giving us a platform today, Brandon. As I say, the marketing starts now. It's a daily hustle. I know what to do. We know what to do. It's going to be an ongoing thing for the long term. I suppose another few signposts for anyone that might be listening, thinking, am I going to participate or not? We're looking at potentially working with other partners to market into other communities. We're going to continue to build in MemeFi. The GoatX tribe is going to be turned into an animation. So think Mafia motorcycle style gang. which will help continue the story and create attention and create a brand. And yeah, we've got a marketing budget to raise the profile, and also a big believer in real life meetups as well. I think it's great that crypto is decentralized, and you don't have to, but I think once we really start to build this tribe, we are planning to do some in real life stuff as well. So if you are interested, or you've got some feedback for Ali and I, I'm active on Twitter, Irish Crypto 4. Do reach out to me. And also we've got a Telegram group as well, as you can imagine. So join the Telegram group. We're going to be very active in there for the long term. That's t.me/TheGoatX tribe. Yeah.
Oh, I quickly mention quickly what is the Twitter handle? Because we're running a meme competition with quite a substantial dollar value up for grabs for the participants. We haven't announced it yet, but keep an eye on the GoatX Twitter feed. What is the GoatX Twitter?
It's so it's at GoatX Memefi. Let me just double check. It's
at GoatX Memefi.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to be launching that tonight. It's going to be a $1,750 meme prize. So the first prize will be 1,000 US UDC. The second prize will be 500, and the third prize will be 250. And it's, in short, for the best goat meme. And of course, there'll be a time period for people to do it, and then tag, share, spread the goat word across X and online. So there'll be further details on that tonight. Should create a bit of fun. Looking to see how creative people can be, and let's go.
Outstanding. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys coming on. We won't make these poor audience members suffer anymore. Talk to you soon. Good luck. We'll be watching. I guess this is over. I guess January 11th is the last day to mint there, I believe. So good stuff. Guys, thank you very much for coming on. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Brandon. Take care.